What about the benefits?
Yeah, so these are a few of the benefits, the main benefits. I think I could talk about the benefits for hours, but okay, I might slightly be pro BIAN. So it is canonical, meaning that what has been created, how to create a blueprint, has been agreed. There's one set of ways how to do so. It's standardized. So I'm not sure about you, but I had meetings where we had to disagree or discuss about single terms. What does this definition mean? And it's so much. It takes so much time. It takes so much effort away from what you're basically doing. BIAN, it's all canonical, meaning it's all standardized. So you don't need to discuss what is what. It's all created there. So that makes it much more efficient. And it also means that everyone can use it once they understand how it works. And then also, I already briefly mentioned it. It comes out of 2008 when the entire agile movement started. So when you want to be agile in a big corporation like a bank, your core needs to be stable. It needs to work. It needs to not break down all the time. Well, at the same time, you need it to be able to add content quickly. So if you, for example, and this may be a bit of architecture language, but if you, for example, have spaghetti IT, spaghetti architecture, if you know what it means, everything's connected to one and each other. And if you pull one cord, I don't hope that any of you has this experience. I might have it. If you change one thing, then somewhere else, which you really didn't expect, turns off or turns on, or something happens there. And like, how are these two things connected? But with BIAN, they're all building blocks that are attached on top of each other. So you basically prevent this from happening, that if you pull one thread, it turns on the light somewhere else. And by doing so, you can easily add a building piece or remove a building piece, and therefore making it very agile. You can change your puzzle of building blocks however you prefer, and therefore be agile in your business approach. If you want to add a service, you can relatively fast do so without everything breaking or one thing breaking. You have to resolve that issue again. Also there, what I mentioned with the blueprint, so this point 3, it's composable because it is canonical, so it's standardized, how it's been done, how the blueprint is set up. Everyone can work with it. So you have external vendors, or maybe like different vendors, different banks. They all know it's transparent what is the architecture, and they can add on top of that building blocks and create their view and their piece to it. And therefore, it's much easier to connect with, for example, external vendors. They also prevent vendor lock-in, that you're all building to their way of working. It doesn't happen because you follow this BIAN approach of working, and therefore you basically have, well, I don't want to say you have the power, but you can determine, it's clear what's happening and how you're building it up for everyone. This also, point 4, it eliminates complexity. There's not one person or one department that knows how it's built up. Everybody can see how it's built up and can go into it, and therefore it's not complex. Everybody can understand it because it's not complex. It removes blockades. It makes it more efficient. It's cost reductive. And also, point 5, it's stable over time, because the way BIAN is set up, it's durable. It doesn't break down. Again, spaghetti architecture. It's not suddenly something breaks down, because it's all built in a logical way, in a colonial way, standardized, so that it's stable and you know what's happening. Again, making it agile. And point 6, it took me a while to understand this one. It can be adopted incrementally, meaning that whatever, so we have this, I think, 327 service domains. It's not that you have to start at point A and then move up linear. You can start with whichever service you have, or whatever needs fits you. Maybe there's this trend going on, open banking, and that's a reason for you to go into BIAN. Or maybe it's because you want to be more agile, or maybe simply you're a new bank and you haven't set this all up. It doesn't matter what is your motivation or where you want to start, because it all aligns to each other. You can start wherever it suits your need to adopt with BIAN.
Excellent. Yeah. Which probably, sorry, you go, Mamta. Oh, I was going to say it's absolutely right. I was just going to add the fact that all of these 6 points leads to one thing, which is simple architecture and known architecture. So we're doing architecture by design. We know what we're going to change. We know what we want to do. We know how we can move these pieces together and how these pieces are interrelated, rather than just going in and doing something. So it's like coming back, taking a step back at this to go faster, is like go a step back and say, what are we doing, how we are doing it, and then we can move faster, which is the agility part of it, is that can we bring those things together in a different way to bring agility to the business, bring agility to the process, bring agility to the IT itself. Sorry, Nish, I jumped.
No, that's perfect. So look, Mauriz's last point about being adopted incrementally is probably a good segue into the very next